G'day guys, Mossy here. Hey, just haven't posted anything in the last couple of weeks. Been away and doing stuff, and the weather's not very nice at the moment either. So at the moment, what's this video about? Lowering the suspension on your motorbike, and why would you do that? So sometimes it's not, it's not about being faster or louder, although that is pretty cool to put a nice pipe on. It's about feeling more confident. If you're thinking of lowering your motorbike, start small. 20 millimeters might be all you need. And to be honest, there's a lot of benefits of lowering your motorbike. You might be a little bit shorter. For me, the reason I do it, I did it on mine. I've got a DDX there, Ducati. They're a very tall bike. I'm only 5'8" and got a very short inner seam. I did not feel comfortable riding it. So, especially if you're on the road, riding around the city and you've got traffic lights every 5 minutes. I did not feel comfortable coming up to the lights. And I was on my tippy toes on both sides, only just touching the ground. And it did not feel very comfortable. I had to think about how I stopped. I had to think about, and I just did not feel comfortable. So on some bikes, I've got a mate of mine that's got a T7. They have linkages at the bottom of the suspension. Ducatis are straight onto the swing arm, so you have to do it with springs front and rear. So this is a kit that comes with the Ducati. It's got a rear spring, it's got the front springs. These are the old ones that came out, the standard ones. So the ones that I bought with the kit, they come with a rear spring, front springs, and they come with a lowered side stand to cope with the lowering. I got the shop to do it. I didn't have the specialized tools to take off the springs and that. They only quoted me 3 hours, which was pretty straightforward for them. The front here, so 2 springs. They also did change the oil level just a little bit. At the top here, they're still the same. I think that's about 10 mil or something. So we didn't have to change that at all. On some bikes, you need to change it, especially if you're like my mate's T7. He changed the linkage on the back of the suspension. That lowered it 40 mil. But then if you do that, it changes all the geometry and how the bike handles. So they had to muck around with the front tube suspension, whether it goes up or down. So what did I think? In the kit, again for the Ducati, rear spring, front springs, and a side stand. I thought it was pretty straightforward. Okay, the kit is X amount. You could take it to a suspension tuner, but then you'd be looking at probably, I imagine, twice as much as the Ducati OME kit. What did it feel like? It felt exactly the same as the standard bike, but 20 millimeters lower. So, and I measured it. I put a level across here, measured it before I changed the kit, and it was 880 set at the race sag. When I did the suspension, set it up again, it was 860. So it's as advertised. It's 20 millimeters lower. So what did it feel like to me? As soon as I got on the bike, from picking it up from the shop, instant confidence. I could put my feet flat just about on both sides, and if I just wanted to do 1 foot, it was totally flat. So it gave me more confidence. The other thing is off-road. So you come to a technical hill climb or downhills, or you're going across rivers and you want to dab your foot. If you get unstuck or your bike gets thrown sideways and you just want to dab your foot down, if it was really, really high, you got a good chance of going over. And no one wants to be picking these things off the ground or hurting yourself because it's way, way too tall. So those are some of the reasons. I think it's a great kit. I think over here in Australia where I am, it was just over 600 bucks. Someone said, oh, take it to a suspension tuner. And, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 wasn't about the money. It was more like, okay, let's just try the kit. there's lots of people out there that are struggling with the height of these Ducatis and a lot of other bikes. You know, there's KTM, the Tigers, the Ducatis, any bike that is really, really tall, you know. So the bike is about setting it up for you and what you feel comfortable with. And if you have confidence in your bike, you're going to ride better, right? So because that's going to give you confidence. So that was the main reason why again, I chose it. And in summary, you know, there's been a few things on Facebook lately of guys saying, oh my gosh, I'm looking at getting a Ducati. They're just really, really tall. So what do? Do I go to a suspension tuner? Do I just get the OME kit? And obviously, if you've got the tools in your shed and you want to give it a go, that saves you 2 to 3 hours of labour. So, you know, I've just got a few benefits written down here. So you can flat-foot it on both sides, which is going to give you more confidence. Lower speed handling is going to be improved. Mounting and dismounting. I mean, I know a lot of guys will go on the pegs, mount their bikes that way. To be honest, that's absolutely fine, but with it slightly lowered, you have a little bit more confidence in mounting and dismounting your bike. So this was just a quick review because some people have been asking, oh, how did your suspension kit go? You know, what did you feel? And was it worth the money? Look, I think it's half the price of a suspension tuner, and this could be the key to just spending not a lot of money, but some money and getting more comfortable on your bike. And I think that's worth spending a few $100, or even if it costs you $1,000, right? All these bikes is setting them up comfortable for you. Once you get a comfortable bike that you feel confident on, you're going to ride it faster, you're going to ride the more technical sections a lot easier and better, because now you, in your mind, you have confidence in your bike. Obviously, riding more and more and more is going to make you confident as a rider. I've learned that over 30 years of riding, doing motocross, doing road riding, and now I'm back on the ADV bikes. More you ride, the more confidence you get with your bike. You know what your bike can do, how it handles you as a rider. More you ride, the more confident you get, and your skill level goes up really, really quickly the more you ride. But again, lowering the suspension for us shorter guys, you know, 6 foot and over, there's only about 15% of the population that is 6 foot and over, and this bike is so tall. And the same in relation to my mate's bike. It's got a T7. He's very short. He's a lot shorter than me. He lowered his 40 mil and I threw a leg over, and my gosh, it is low. I think he went for a 40 mil reduced linkage in the back. I would have gone for maybe a 20, but that's just personal preference. The other thing is you're going to have slightly lower ground clearance. Now I measured this at 240 before I did the suspension, and now it's 220. You know, some people will go, oh, you're lowering the ground clearance. Yeah, these are not motocross bikes, right? They're just not. If you want one of those, you go and get an EXC 300 KTM and go hell for leather. These sort of bikes are adventure bikes. Yes, you may get into some technical stuff, but you're not going to be jumping over jumps and swinging over logs and like you're at the Romaniac enduro race. That's not what these bikes are about. They're about loading them up with some equipment, going away for a weekend, having some fun with your mates. If you want to go on hard enduro, these bikes are not really made for that. They're made for going out there, having a bit of fun, camping out with your mates and having a lot of fun. And I think this suspension for shorter guys is probably more important, right, than getting a nice shiny pipe. I know it's really cool to have a bike that sounds nice, but really put the money into suspension that's going to give you the confidence to get out there and ride more. Again, just a quick summary. This is the Ducati Desert X again, suspension kit. That's the old ones. Again, I think for me, for 20 millimeters shorter, because I'm only 5'8". I feel a lot more confident on it. I can swing my leg over, I get it flat on the ground a lot easier, and for me it's worked really well. Again, that's all, guys. Sorry I haven't posted anything a bit quicker. I've been away for a couple of weeks, come back, the weather's not that good here at the moment. It's cold, it's wet, which is pretty cool to go out and play in the mud. But again, have a look at the Ducati original OME suspension. Have a look at the lowering suspension kit that they do. And if you have a different bike like a KTM or a T7 or a KLX or even a DRZ 400, those type of bikes, if they're tall and you're short, there is lots of things out there that you can do, whether you change all the springs altogether to lower your bike, or whether you do linkages in the rear suspension to lower it down, and then adjusting the front to make it more confident for you. And once you've got a bike that you're confident to ride, you will have a happier day. You will actually enjoy going out and riding. So that's all for me. Again, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Safe riding, stay upright, and enjoy your life. Thanks, guys.